chance to save big on many of the top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs. Where? At Video Only, where the smart shoppers go. So, don't miss out. Check out Video Only now, or
you'll be sorry.
With Target, gifting has never been easier. This Saturday and Sunday, Target gift cards are 10% off with Target Circle. Treat everyone on your list to something you know they'll love. Gift cards for the trendsetters, the techies, the fashionistas, the foodies, and even yourself. The perfect time to save is now. This deal is a yearly fave, so hurry. Get more gifting for your buck and save 10% on Target gift cards with Target Circle for 2 days only. Only at Target. Restrictions apply.
Comcast Business is celebrating the holidays by giving your business the $1,000 holiday bonus when you switch to a gig speed internet package. Just imagine the thousands of possibilities of a $1,000 prepaid card. Like possibility number 12, a new laptop for the office holiday hero. Or possibility number 108, smart speakers to deck those hallways. Or possibility number 192, new equipment for the new year. Or possibility number 555, Bluetooth holiday lights for office decor. Switch to Comcast Business, designed for 100% reliability with business internet and wireless connect, plus advanced cybersecurity, and now get the $1,000 holiday bonus. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 12/14/25. New customers only with 2-year agreement. Requires qualifying gig package. Other restrictions apply.
Elevate your kitchen at the Mila Innovation Center at Friedman's Appliance in Pleasant Hill. Out of your dreams and into your kitchen. Select the qualifying built-in kitchen appliance package that is right for you. With unrivaled technology and luxury-grade quality, when you bring home a Mila, you're bringing home true innovation. Now, for a limited time, save up to 10% with the purchase of a qualifying Mila kitchen package. Visit the Mila Innovation Center at Friedman's Appliance in Pleasant Hill or at friedmansappliance.com.
With T-Mobile, we don't miss out on any family fiestas.
Hola, mija, ¿cómo quedó el mole?
It turned out great.
This holiday, switch to T-Mobile and stay connected with Los Tuyos. Get 4 Samsung Galaxy S25 phones with no trade-in needed, plus 4 lines for just $25 per line. Visit a store at T-Mobile.com or call 1-800-T-Mobile. With 24 monthly bill credits and 4 eligible port and non-essentials. For well-qualified customers with auto-pay plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits and imbalance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 128 gigabytes, $800 required. Not for extended international use. You must reside in the U.S. and primary usage must occur on our network. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, E-T-H-O-S, ethos.com/life.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
You're listening to 95.7
A lot of Bay Area banking
KGMC
customers are
FM
faced with a
HD1
choice.
San Francisco.
Which financial institution best fits what they're looking for? It might make sense to consider a bank's history. Take Fremont Bank. For 60 years, we've provided stability and consistency with an emphasis on relationships. We've grown one customer at a time, not through mergers or acquisitions, because that's how you can do business when you're independently owned and community focused. Fremont Bank. Here for you, here for good.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM in HD1 San Francisco on Odyssey Sports Station. Always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch, and YouTube. Powered by First NorCal Credit Union.
Well, a happy Sunday to all, and welcome into Warriors Live before Golden State takes on the Chicago Bulls to finish off a 3-game road trip, back-to-back game, number 6 for the Dubs. And again, they take on the Chicago Bulls as we welcome you into Warriors Live, presented by Xfinity, your home court advantage, brought to you by Xfinity. Watch all your favorite teams all in one place. Xfinity, imagine that. Evan Giddings with you for pre and post tonight. We'll have you for Warriors wrap-up after this one. And a road trip that at the beginning, when you found out that Curry wasn't going to be there, when you found out that Jimmy Butler and that knee injury lagging from the end of the homestand was going to prevent him from playing, when you saw Draymond Green go down 9 minutes in the first game of this road trip, you began to think, oh my gosh, this might be a really tough slog for Golden State, right? You get beat at home against OKC. Against the Sixers, you have a chance in the game, but you come up a little bit short. And then all of that changes in about 48 hours. The Cleveland Cavaliers in that game for Golden State has people feeling, I think, very different about this matchup today. The Warriors are 500. They have a chance to go above 500 on a road trip, and they're getting a lot of their guys back. But the one reason, or I should say the one person that is the reason behind the excitement, the enthusiasm for this 4 o'clock Sunday game in Chicago in, beginning of December is Pat Spencer. It's the 15th man on the roster. Well, I should say, technically a guy that did not have a roster spot coming into the season still does not, because he is a two-way player. He is a guy who everyone is rooting for and proved it again against Cleveland yesterday, why he might be, if not one of the best, or if not the best, certainly one of the best stories in the NBA going right now. Because this guy he's just, hey, it sounds crazy to say, but with the way the Warriors have been playing, Pat Spencer is must-watch entertainment. He got his first start of his NBA career yesterday, and he scores 19 points on 7 of 12 from the floor, 3 of 4 from three-point range, adds 7 assists, turns it over just once, and in 29 minutes, he helps push Golden State over the top of Cleveland 99-94. It was a slog of a game. Cleveland missed a ton of shots. The Warriors at times offensively, they looked despondent, but they overcame a team that had their 3 best players. Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley all played yesterday for Cleveland. And I would say for the first time this season, Pat Spencer was at the forefront of the Warriors doing something that had been done to them, not countless times, but certainly multiple times this year. And that's steal a game that no one gave them a chance in, that no one really thought that they should be in because of the personnel. The Warriors stole a couple of games in San Antonio. You could say they stole the game, their first home game of the season against Denver. But that was because of the greatness of Steph Curry, which has become something that we've become accustomed to, right? We've seen them lose to Indiana. We've seen them lose to Portland. We've seen them lose to Houston. We've seen them lose to teams that have not had their best player or a few of their best players, and the Warriors be close to full strength. That's what's been so frustrating about the start of the season. Because, and you could even throw Milwaukee in there if you want. They didn't have Giannis in that game. The Warriors had all of their guys. We're feeling like at 12-12, if you could have just had one win, if you could have had 2 or 3 of those wins, the wins that you're supposed to get, right? Well, then we're talking about a team that's 15-9 or 14-11 or 14-10, pardon me. That's in a much better position in the Western Conference than a team that's 500. You are what your record says you are. And last night, for the first time, they stole a game in the way that's been stolen from them. Cleveland probably came in and overlooked Golden State. Who's Pat Spencer? Who's Guy Santos? Who are all these guys that are not usually playing when the big dogs are out there? And the big dogs were not out there. Steph, Draymond, Jimmy, all 3 of those guys did not play. For the first time this season, the Warriors won a game without their big 3. Any of them. They came close in Sacramento. Didn't get that game. They came close in Miami. Didn't get that game. They came even closer, the closest, in Philadelphia, didn't get that game. So what Pat Spencer is at the forefront of doing is helping people believe that the Warriors can do what the rest of the association has been able to do to them, and that's beat them when they're not at full strength. And it's because he was awesome. 17-7 may not sound incredible to some, but it was incredibly impactful. Or 19-7, pardon me. Because he's hitting three-point shots. He's that MFer. And that is something that I believe has a domino effect on the locker room, on the franchise as a whole. When you see a player do what Pat Spencer has done the last couple of games, and you can go back to the OKC game because he was really good in that game too. Obviously got taken out at the end of the fourth quarter, bounces back against Philly, does not get taken out in the fourth quarter, and then gets his first NBA start, and he has made the most of his opportunities. It's these little stories that, yes, we're 24 games in. By the end of the season, the Pat Spencer experience may end up being a blip on the radar. But that's an important blip considering where the Warriors are and the way that they've been trending, what they've been looking like, which is a team that you don't know what kind of direction they're going in. Without their big boys, it feels like, again, they could not win a game without any of their best players. And even sometimes when they've had their best players, they haven't been able to steal some games that they should win. And so Pat Spencer is giving people some belief that this is a Warriors team that, again, can just survive right now. And also that he might be someone when Steph Curry's back, which it hopefully looks like he will be on Friday when they host Minnesota after a 4-day break, that he's someone that can remain in the rotation. Pat Spencer is putting everyone on notice that he is coming for their roster spot. In particular, Brandon Pajemski, who he started for last night and who he closed over. He's going for that roster spot. And when Steph Curry comes back, Pat Spencer's looking like the guy that needs to be the backup point guard because he takes care of the ball. He can get into the paint. If he's knocking down three-point shots, he's impactful. And he's someone that plays with a toughness and a competitive spirit that has kind of been lacking with this team, if we're being honest. It feels like a few of the guys out there are a little bit hesitant or have lost some confidence. In particular, Brandon Pajemski. I think he's someone that through his first 2+ seasons has always been a guy that you have not thought lacked confidence. I've seen that the past few games. And it's because he hasn't been playing well. And Spencer's been a guy that's taken advantage of it. Jonathan Kuminga last night did not look like he was playing with much confidence. Had 4 points on 10 shots. Moses Moody has not been playing with much confidence. Goes to the bench yesterday where he had been starting. Buddy Hield gets the start in front of him. It's funny that the guys at the back end of the roster are the ones that are kind of pushing this I don't know if you want to call it defibrillation right now, a quarter of the way through the year. But guys like Pat Spencer, guys like Guy Santos, guys like Will Richard, and Will Richard has kind of carved out a little role for himself, but even as a starter, he hasn't been playing, the big minutes, but he just gives you something you don't have, and that is a competitive fire. And yesterday against a Cleveland team that was not playing very well, that really just had Donovan Mitchell, who tried to turn it on at the end of the game and nearly brought them back, missed a three-pointer that could have tied the game, was straight on, rimmed out. Warriors get the dub. That kind of energy on a night-to-night basis is what's required in 2025-26. If you can play with that kind of energy, and I said this after the OKC game, because I know that there was the big decision about, should you take Pat out, should you not? In the time, I thought it was weird, but I understood it, and the Warriors lost the game. I don't think they win the game either way because the Thunder are just that good. But what I said after doing that game on these airwaves was if the Warriors play with that spirit and with that energy, they're going to be all right. And in fact, I remember saying they're going to win a game on this road trip, even without Steph, Jimmy. I thought they would have Draymond, but without Draymond Green. And they went out and did it. And now, fast forwarding to today, you are going to get some of those guys back. You are going to have a little more of a full roster to go into a Chicago team, a building in the United Center in Chicago, and play a Bulls team that's lost 6 in a row, that is not looking like a very good team after a hot start, and that you have an opportunity now to not steal a game, but go out and win a game, win a back-to-back, and you feel very different coming back home with 4 days of rest than you would have at the beginning of this road trip. That, to me, is why the NBA it's dramatic, it changes day to day, and it demands your attention at all times, because someone like Pat Spencer, he may not be a factor when Steph Curry comes back in the way that he's playing right now, obviously, because he's probably not going to be playing 30 minutes a game when Steph is here. But he is an important piece of the story of this season right now. And it's all because of him and his work and the things that he has done to grab the attention of the coaching staff, to grab the attention of the fan base, and to, more importantly, grab the attention of his teammates, that he deserves to be known as that MFer. And here's Steve Kerr talking about it yesterday. My goodness.
We've watched us 3 games in a row where we've found a really good groove, played good two-way basketball, and obviously the last game was a gut punch. You know, the OKC one, we played well. They had huge shots down the stretch, but the other night in Philly, that was a tough one. So it feels great to see the guys respond and come up with a big win against a great team without so many of our guys. He's just a gamer. I mean, I don't know if he's a throwback. I just think he's a guy that you just want on your team, because he'll every night, every day at practice, he just brings it. He's the ultimate pro, and I think every guy on our team has a ton of confidence in Pat. You know, it's a pick and roll threat that he brings that is, he just takes care of the ball. He had 1 turnover in 30 minutes tonight and 7 assists. He just gets us into really good offensive rhythm and gets guys shots and just creates really good possessions. Even when we don't score, the possessions feel good when he's out there. It's just fun watching a guy who has had to fight for everything to finally get his moment and not only seize it, but grab it by the neck. I mean, this guy is a competitor. He loves the competition. He loves to play. His teammates love playing with him. So it's beautiful to watch when you see something like that happen. We've seen the competitiveness. We've seen what a good player he is in the past couple of years, but he's really improved his jump shot. I mean, that's the big thing. He's last year he would turn down a lot of threes, drive in, shoot a lot of floaters, and he's never going to be Steph, but he's a threat out there, and that's what it takes. You have to be a threat from the line to be able to pull the defense out, and I just think the shot quality now that we're getting with him on the floor is way better than it was the last couple of years. And then I think the other thing is that his coach realized that Pat is that I think that became clear.
It's become clear to all that Pat is that MFer. When he said it in Philly, he wasn't lying. When he said it again in Cleveland, he wasn't lying. And the entire team has adopted it. I think it was a story that I read today about how as soon as they were about to go to the podium, Guy Santos talks to Raymond Ritter, the president of communications with the Warriors, and says, Raymond, I got to call Pat his name. He's that MFer. And obviously is the entire expletive, and people have as well. So we just got to be a little bit careful about the FCC violations, but Pat is that dude. And he's putting everyone on notice that he deserves to be a part of this team. And he's played 3 great games in a row. I hope that he can continue to play that way tonight, because I think if he does, they're going to beat the Bulls. This is a team that, again, has not been playing great basketball. And as much as the Warriors have been the up-and-down squad that it feels like every time you figure something out, then they revert back to the mean. But the Chicago Bulls are a team that is they're vulnerable. They've played a little bit better at home. They're 9-13 overall this year, but they are 6-4 at home. The thing is, they have lost 6 consecutive games, back-to-back home games to arguably 2 of the worst teams in basketball, the Indiana Pacers and the Brooklyn Nets. And both of those games, by the way, were not particularly close. So this is, to me, this is a game the Warriors should get. And one of the reasons is because of Pat Spencer. One of the reasons is because they're playing the Chicago Bulls. And another reason is because of tonight's injury report, brought to you by Boxer & Gerson, Northern California's premier workers' compensation law firm, helping injured workers get their lives back for over 40 years. For more information, visit boxerlaw.com. And that's because it looks like Jimmy Butler's going to play tonight, Seth Curry's going to play tonight, DeAnthony Melton is going to play tonight. So they get 3 rotation players, obviously a couple of starters, back in Golden State as they play the Chicago Bulls. Steph Curry remains out. Draymond Green remains out. Al Horford remains out for the Warriors. Meanwhile, on the Chicago Bulls side, a couple of pieces for them that are out this evening. Kevin Huerter is out with a left adductor, and then Isaac Okoro remains out with the left lumbar injury. Ayo Dosunmu is questionable by right now, and Zach Collins looks like that he's going to play. Had a fracture in his hand, but so the Bulls are as close to, I would say, close to full strength, but they'll have a couple of their guys out there, as well as someone that the Warriors might have their eyes on come the trade deadline, and that is Kobe White. Is somebody who has always just kind of been in the eyes of a lot of Warriors fans. Josh Giddey is going to be the guy that he's running with in the backcourt. Nikola Vucevic is also another name that's been tossed around Warriors trade rumors in years past, particularly last year, as they decided not to do business with the Bulls. And then, so Chicago's going to be getting Dosunmu hopefully back today. But if not, it's a team that they score, they play fast, and that might be the one thing that the Warriors may be a bit vulnerable to, which is if the Chicago Bulls can get hot, the Warriors did win yesterday. They've also failed to score 100 points in back-to-back games, which is concerning in the year 2025 because you got to crack 100 on most nights in order to win. It's unbelievable, in fact, that the Warriors have nearly won back-to-back games without scoring 100 points. Jimmy Butler should help. I think having DeAnthony Melton should help. But the Warriors' key to victory tonight, to me, is going to be holding the Bulls to roughly 105, which is an area they've kind of been around the last 5 or 6 games. 105 in the loss to Indiana, 103 the loss to Brooklyn, 101 also a loss at Indiana. So this is a Bulls team that has been hit or miss, and offensively, if they don't have it going, it's very difficult for them to win. So they're also not a great defensive team, and you hope that the Warriors should be able to take advantage of that as opposed to a team like Cleveland, which is a good defensive squad. And even I would say the Sixers are a more formidable defensive team than the Chicago Bulls. So again, that's your injury report. The Warriors should be getting Jimmy Butler back tonight, DeAnthony Melton, Seth Curry, some pieces they did not have yesterday. And this has quickly turned into a game that I think that they can go for. And it's going to be really interesting for me to see just how Pat Spencer plays with Jimmy Butler. Because one of the things that Spencer is doing is basically kind of running the show. The last 2 games, it's been the Pat Spencer show. And the Warriors have been better for it, right? He is pretty good at getting to the paint, getting 2 feet in the paint, I should say. He's a tough player. He doesn't back down from guys. And now with Jimmy, who's going to have the ball in his hands as well, I'm also curious to see how Jimmy Butler plays alongside Pat Spencer, because I think that Jimmy Butler is a guy who, it doesn't matter if you're the best player, if you're making $100 million a year, or if you're making league minimum, you're the last guy on the team. If you're a winner and you are a competitor, Jimmy Butler will ride with you. It's been this way. He's had some ups and downs, most certainly, with organizations throughout his career. But one thing has remained certain. He wants the guys that want to win on his team. And the last couple of games, Pat Spencer has proved that he's a dude that I think Jimmy Butler rocks with. And so I'm excited to see them play together, because when they've had the chance, it's been, kind of short, few and far between as far as minutes are concerned. They obviously played a little bit together last postseason when Steph went down and Pat was thrust into the Minnesota series. But now Pat Spencer is a starter right now, at least until Steph returns. So Jimmy and him, I think we're going to see I think we're going to see Jimmy Butler hyping up Pat Spencer. I think we're going to see the bench being a little more into it today, because again, they've been a little lifeless, and that to me is one of the reasons why they went 2-3 during that homestand. But now there's more juice with Golden State, and maybe getting away from Chase Center, maybe having a bit of a Midwest swing, maybe having some of the pressure off them with people sort of rolling their eyes at the way the Warriors have been playing as of late, has allowed them to kind of find something. But I just think that Pat Spencer, he symbolizes what's good about sports. A dude that, played a completely different sport, dominated at it, and then came to play basketball because, yes, it's a little bit easier to make a living as a basketball player as opposed to a lacrosse player, but he loves basketball. That's his first love. And to see a dude who loves the game, has clearly worked hard over a long period of time, because he's 29 years old, to get his game to the place where he can make an impact. He's taken every single step slowly. Nothing has been given. Everything has been earned. And even if last night is, kind of the apex of his professional basketball life, I don't think it is. I think he's got more in store to help this team. That kind of moment is one where you just have to be watching the game and you're left with a smile on your face. That's what hurts so much, honestly, about the Sixers' loss, is that I wanted the Warriors to win that game because the Pat Spencers, the Guy Santoses, the guys, the back end of the roster, helped them get back into that game and win that and put themselves in a position to win that game, and they were finally rewarded against Cleveland. So I think the Warriors have a good shot tonight. I'm excited to talk about it after the game, obviously, on Warriors Wrap-Up. I'm also excited to hear what Tim Roy and how he describes the action coming up at the top of the hour. 4 o'clock tip in Cleveland between the Warriors and the Cavaliers. Roy will also have the rest of your remaining pregame for you at the bottom of the hour here on 95.7 The Game. As for our Take It to the Bank prediction, brought to you by Fremont Bank, full-service banking, no compromises, you got to ride the hot hand. I think you got to go with Pat Spencer. And I'm not sure if every single, what do you want to call it? DraftKings, FanDuel, sports gambling book. I'm not sure if they all have Pat Spencer over-unders available, but the one that I did see was, I think it was either 11.5 or 12.5 points. Give me the over. I'm riding with Pat. Can this guy help the Warriors get some juice flowing in Chicago? Can they take the United Center? Can they continue to let the world know just who this guy is? Because he's had a few games and Warriors fans are in love with him. If they win this game against Chicago, there is a very real possibility that Pat Spencer will be the story of the NBA heading into Monday. I'm dead serious, because this kind of thing generally does not happen. I know there's guys scoring lots of points. There's players of the month. There's players of the week. But Pat Spencer, if he helps them go 2-1 on this road trip, he plays a part of it, and they beat Chicago, we're going to be talking a lot about him on Monday, and deservingly so. That's how I feel about it. All right, Evan Giddings with you here on Warriors Live. I'll have you for post-game after the Warriors take on the Chicago Bulls. Coming up next here on 95.7 The Game, Tim Roy has got the remainder of your network pregame, and then, of course, the play-by-play for you from the United Center in Chicago. The Warriors trying to advance, move back above 500 against a Bulls team that have lost 6 games in a row to the Pelicans, the Hornets, the Pacers twice, and the Nets. Can the Warriors take advantage of Chicago? We're going to find out. We'll send it off to Tim Roy. Coming up next, you've been listening to Warriors Live, presented by Xfinity, your home court advantage, brought to you by Xfinity. Watch all your favorite teams all in one place. Xfinity, imagine that.
Ready for your next adventure? Welcome to San Francisco International Airport. Your